There we go. Misconceptions in S&C. This is typical, yeah? So you could marry these two together. When people hit the gym, what's going to happen to them is I'm going to blow up. Oh, I don't want to put on weight. Fucking good luck trying to get there. Just jump in 1 year or 2 years, unless you're on some bloody substance. All right? If you want to get big, we can train to get big. It's easy. But never fear, as long as you're honest with what you want from your training and you speak it to your coaches, there's ways to do it. And just remember, this presentation today is of everything I do. I'm very unorthodox. So if you go and go, well, fucking Sin told us this, but bloody Google is telling us something else, I don't care. Okay, I'm doing and giving you information with what I've done with all my athletes. All right, so I've been fortunate enough to have all these guys for 8 years plus. So Israel and I have been together for 8 years. So all my athletes are my research studies. I trial stuff. I'm fortunate enough to have the same bodies every year to put them through different protocols. Okay, that one didn't really work. I'll adjust it. But I don't adjust it fully. So if you have a program that you're working with, don't just discard it after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or 8 weeks. Maybe adjust one thing in it could potentially bring about a change in performance. So if you think this is going to happen to you, you're wrong. Because you've got to quickly realize that your primary is fighting, S&C is secondary. That's not your goal. This is to supplement your fighting, which is primary. Fight training comes first. I'm happy if the boys sometimes miss an S&C session. Don't miss your fight training. That's important. That's the craft. Basic principles of S&C, and this is my principles, what I think. It's not in any textbook or any university that I've been to. This is my principles of what I think, 3 important things. Firstly, don't do dumb shit. Okay? First principle is get rid of that shit. I see it on internet, Instagram, all over the place, and I see it live, and I'm like, whoop, I can't see, and I walk the other way. So please, stay away from that. Even if you see some fancy athlete doing it, don't attempt it, unless you understand why they're doing it. Because I'll put my athletes under some stupid-looking stuff, and I got a message just last week going, what you just did in the gym I saw looks really stupid. I'm like, oh, let me rephrase your question to me, and then I'll answer it. And I go, why don't you ask me, that move that you were doing with the bands, why were you doing it and what's its purpose? Don't tell me it was stupid. So unless you find out, but that shit, don't copy it unless you don't know why they're doing it. Second principle, big word that you hear around on the internet or coaches is bulletproofing. Now for me, what is bulletproof? If I say bulletproof, what does that mean? Like, if you just hear the word bulletproof, what does it mean? Right. Now for me, that's bullshit. Because they go, you wanna bulletproof my quads and a bulletproof my hamstrings. You don't fucking rip it, then where's the bulletproof? Where is it? You know? So my thing is, I like to call it support structure. All right? So I want to support everything around the joints. All right? Because support structures can give way. You know, with engineering and all of that, our bodies are the same thing. We've got to apply biomechanics to it. Our lever lengths, our joint angles, our muscles, our tendons, the forces that we train them to withstand will depend on the base of support and the plane we're placing our body in. So for me, it comes down to support structures. Principle number 2. So number 1, don't do dumb shit. Number 2, make sure we have good support structures. And that's strengthening everything around our joints. And then third principle is we want to improve in performance. That's why we do what we do, whether we're in the fight gym or S&C with myself or other trainers in the room. You want to improve performance in your athletic requirements. So the athletic requirements will aid your fight performance. There we go. So you can have a little read of these 4 pillars here, or 4 squares. And I think you can tie some of this, and especially with Lolo and Kai, you would have noticed, and when I picked up with Lolo with the whole clockwork, everyone was a little bit confused because you were a bit robotic. Because you were going, oh shit, he said 2 o'clock. Oh, then he said 10 o'clock. And it's just staying true to just forget all that rubbish there. All right, just remember, if you can't move efficiently, you're going to be looking like this. You're stuck. Oh, I've got to go 2 degrees now. It's not going to work. So our idea about S&C is movement patterns and making you fluid and efficient in these movement patterns. And both, whether it's striking or like Kai showed you, it's not very easy getting into some of those positions. And I think understanding how you transition fluidly into movements. And you can only transition fluid into movements if your joints can withstand quick, fast actions and forces placed on them while being opposed to that resistance you apply. Make sense?